Corporal Charles Lindberg, United States Marine Corps, World War II. Folks, I got a special story here. Chuck Lindberg was one of the original flag raisers on Iwo Jima. Remember the famous iconic photo that Joe Rosenthal took of the second flag raising? Well, Chuck was in the first flag raising, and Lou Lowry took the pictures, and I have some of them after this introduction, some rare photos from Lou Lowry. But Chuck felt bitter a lot of his life because they were overshadowed by the second flag raising, yet the first one, I think historically, is more significant. And when I interviewed Chuck in Minnesota, it was December the 12th, 2005, almost 20 years ago. He was the only living flag raiser of both flag raisings. So it's quite a story here, folks. This is very rare. And I took my trip to Minnesota, like I said, almost 20 years ago, and I found out about Chuck, and what a great story. Chuck was a corporal. He was a flamethrower. I've got a great picture of him with a flamethrower up on Mount Suribachi, and you're going to see it after this introduction. But Chuck was a flamethrower. He received a Silver Star and a Purple Heart for his actions during World War II, and he's, to me, a hero. He's gone now. He died 2 years after my interview. He died just before his 87th birthday, December of 2007, and I miss Chuck. He was one of these unsung heroes in my archives, and I'm just so happy to be able to share his story today because it's so rare. And I could say a lot about the flag raising. You know, if you know your history, February 23rd, they raised the flag in Iwo Jima. I have Greeley Wells as one of my veterans. He actually took the flag, the second flag, from ship to shore that they raised, and the first flag became a souvenir of some commander. So that's the story that I've heard. But anyways, I'm going to thank Tom Manaska for stepping forward. Tom, thank you for sponsoring this story, making it possible for others to learn about Iwo Jima, the World War II through the eyes and ears of Chuck Lindberg. Tom, this is the first time sponsorship for you. Hopefully we'll work together again. He wanted somebody from Minnesota, folks, and Chuck Lindberg was the first veteran that came to mind. And by the way, Chuck is buried at the Fort Snelling National Cemetery in Minnesota. I have several veterans that are there from the work that I've done. So what a great day, what a great story. So thank you, Tom. Folks, I would really encourage you to become a sponsor or to donate to this work. This is listener supported. No commercials, like I tell you. On my radio station, Voices of History Radio, listener supported. It's all based on the contributions from you guys. So you help keep it running. I've done all the interviews, and I'm going to continue interviewing. Like I said, I'm going to Phoenix in about a month. I'm going to interview Vietnam vets again, and it's going to be a great time. If you know anybody in the Phoenix area, head them my way, or even in the surrounding areas, in the surrounding states. Head them to Phoenix. We'll set up a schedule and we'll interview them. So it doesn't have to be Vietnam. It could be any war, but that's my focus this time. And it's where I started my work 21 years ago actually, 2003. And the Vietnam veterans today are almost the same age as the World War II veterans were when I was starting my work 21 years ago. So there's an urgency about this work. So I would encourage you to become a part of this work and take ownership in these veterans. And there's a story out there for you. You can find information in the video description of all my videos, in the comment section of my videos, and on my website, larrycapetto.com. So your support will be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you for watching, subscribing to this channel, and sharing these videos, folks. It means the world to me. I enjoy hearing from you. I've been getting a lot of great comments, and we'll just keep this thing going, okay? Let's just keep this thing going. I can't say any better than that. So God bless you, and I'll talk to you on another broadcast. landing where you were?
We were on an LSD. Clear. We were out and about, imagine about 100 miles or so from Iwo Jima.
Where were you on a transport ship? LST, you said?
LST, yeah.
Okay. What did you know about Iwo Jima before you went in?
Well, and we were doing a lot of training on the Big Island, Hawaii, and we were all up around the volcanoes and stuff, and we couldn't figure where we were going, And all of a sudden, one day, the Honolulu Advertiser, that paper from Honolulu, come out with a picture of a plane bombing Mount Suribachi. That was a dead giveaway to us. We knew it, and then that's where we learned about it. But nobody mentioned it. Nobody would omit it. But the big story was when I got out on the last leg from Saipan. See, we took a big ship to Saipan, and they switched to LSTs from there. Mm-hmm. They told us then where we were going, and well, we knew, but we knew nothing about it. And they told us that island had been shelled and came with for 72 days. And I thought, oh boy, gonna be easy. It's 8 square miles of land.
Had you been in combat before this?
Yes.
Okay, so you were a veteran, combat.
I was in Guadalcanal and Bougainville.
What was the mood of the troops the night before the landing? Were you guys scared? Were you talking? What were you doing?
We were talking, yes. Mm-hmm. The reason we were there, they brought us back from Bougainville, and the paratroopers, they're building a new division, the 5th, where they put us into the 5th Main Division. Mm-hmm. I was we used to have the Raiders. You ever hear the Raiders? Mm-hmm. I was in the 2nd Raider Battalion. Okay. And that's the reason I thought we were going home, mm-hmm. But I got a surprise. Report to Camp Pendleton again.
Tell me about the morning of the landing. Did you get up early? Did you have a last meal? What do you remember?
Oh, we had steak for breakfast. Real good meal. And about 8 o'clock or 7:30, we started unloading. And we're running on amphibian tanks. They go right out of the nose into the water. I wonder how them things float. And straight on the shore from there.
Well, just walk me in really slowly now. Did you, a lot of the troops went over nets into the Higgins boats or the LVTs. You were on it. Mm-hmm. Was it similar for you? Did you get in? Did you circle, get into a wave, and go to shore? What happened? Mm-hmm. Tell me about that.
Oh, we'd all hit the same time, just come in, But I think there was a few out of line there. Because it couldn't help it the way that was everything got ringed up. But we landed, come in around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock or something like that. We come in, and I know the beach was really loaded. And when they put us on the beach, we took, first place was to get the cover. So we got up. Went in quite a ways there. The banks go from the shore, go up, and they go up this way, and then this way, and then up this way again. Well, we got behind some of them, and where the mortar shells and everything were just coming like a casualty. Because they walked them from that mountain, walked them up and down the beach, walk down one, go over and come back this way, and then start over again.
What were your thoughts? I mean, Chuck, you land on the island and you're there and you saw casualties. What's going through your mind? How are you getting through that?
Not much ever worried me. Mm-hmm. I was always that way. It didn't seem to. You get killed, you get killed. That's how I looked at it.
Were you were a corporal then at that time?
Yeah.
Did you have men under your command?
Yeah, I had a squad, assault squad.
Tell me about your squad on the landing. Did anybody get hit?
No. Mm-hmm. We got up to the beach right then. Pretty hard to keep track of them after that. But quite a few of them lived through that one from our squad. Mm-hmm.
So you landed in the morning on the 19th,
Mm-hmm.
and what's your job when you get on the beach? What's your job?
I was a flamethrower.
Okay, we'll get into some of that later,
Mm-hmm.
but was the landing what you had anticipated, or was it worse?
It was worse.
Tell me how.
Well, worse by the firepower that was coming at us. I mean, there was artillery coming from the north and mortars from the mountain.
What does a mortar sound like?
Oh, it's just like they're more to a cannon too when you hit. The only thing about that island that saved a lot of people was the sand, volcanic sand. When it hit that, it would go in a ways, and it wouldn't have a chance to, spread out. It'd kind of go up. I remember I did at the first slope there. We were standing there, and you ever hear Richard Wheeler?
Mm-hmm.
He's a good friend of mine too, and he looked at me. He said, "Chuck," he says, "I'm getting my first battle star." He just swayed you in off his island yet. And I don't know what I did, but just happened to climb up and stuck my head over the top of that ridge. A mortar shell lit out there about 5 feet, put a nick in my helmet, and I'm sailing back down. I said, "See what I mean?" He put that in his book.
So you're on the beach. Are you making any progress the first few hours,
Well,
tell me what you.
I think not for a while we didn't make progress, but pretty soon we start moving. We start to go across the island. As was our strategy, cut Surabaya off from the rest of the island, which we did. And then once it's cut off, then the 28th Regiment was given the job to take the mountain. And we started toward that same night or same day. And we took us from the 19th to the 22nd to get to the base of that mountain and get around it. And I mean that was a tough run there too. It wasn't a block and a half, I don't think. But the mortars, but the caves they had, bunkers and everything, It was really something else.
Walk me through the process of getting to the base there, and then as you would begin on the 22nd or 23rd to ascend, and then just walking me through all that. What's happening, what you're doing, what's going on around you.
Well, like I say, that getting to the base of that mountain, we got alongside of it, and then it was nightfall. I remember everybody was looking for something to drink, and we had some coffee. And we had a little what is the service put out in a canteen or in a issued actually for different purposes. A little bit of liquor. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we had that, and they put that in the coffee. That tasted good. Freed us up. But it's a creepy night too, and because stuff was going all night, and they had these show lights going all night. They would throw up, and light the place up, which was a godsend too, because we could see anything going on. But then, come the next morning, they had our report. Colonel Chandler Johnson, he was our battalion commander. We had ordered us to meet at his post. We came, and he handed Lieutenant Schreier a flag, and he says, "If you get to the top, raise it." That word "if" you always got to me. We started out and started going up the mountain, and I figured, well, this is a slaughterhouse because of the way, from what it took to get to the mountain. What would the mountain be? And we just couldn't understand it, but we kept going, and by God, we went clear to the top. We kind of circled the side angle, then coming from this way on the top, and once we got up on top, Schreier said, "Get the flag up." We hunted around our men found this big iron pipe, must have been about 20 feet long. He must have had water or something up there. And brought it over, and he started tie the flag to it, and he had a hole just right. Somebody shot a hole in that. I think it was an aircraft or something, to tie the flag on even. We tied it on, and we carried it up to the highest spot we could find, and we raised it. When we raised that flag, the troops down below just went crazy. You could hear holler, scream, ships offshore, all the whistles were going. I tell you, it was really a proud moment. And the sun kind of got cut down a bit because they had some shooting off to the side of us there. And they dared to come out of the cave, but our BIR man drove them back. So we started after them. And that cave was, say, maybe 100, 150 feet from where the flag was. So we got over there, and first thing we found out when we got up behind it, there was been a cave-in. I don't know how it was, it caved in from above, a good shell or something did that, but they had to give us a chance or 2 spots to do it. So I took the floor and threw a bunch of flame in there. They all sat out on the ridge over here, waiting for them. Nobody came out. So that sounds funny. So we sealed both ends. And then about 2 days later, we dug them open again. There were 72 dead in there. They were up there, but they wouldn't come out. It was really I do not understand. We found other stuff up there, guns covered up. They were covered up and everything. We used it. We tried them out. They're good, but I don't know why they just never came out. We never lost a man on the mountain.
Was Rosenthal up there when you guys raised the first flag?
No, oh no.
Lowry?
Lowry was.
That picture behind you with the BAR there, is that you?
No, I mean a BAR, it's flamethrower.
Okay, well, okay, the guy right here, that's a flamethrower? Okay, all right. Tell me about that picture and when it was taken and what was in the picture.
It was taken right there when the flag went up. What reason was we didn't get one on before he ran out of film. And he had to get more film in his camera, and we didn't wait for him. That's the trouble. To get one going up, but that one there up there when we're all together, he got that one, and then we got 2 more pictures that show that too.
Who were the other men in the first flag raising? Can you name them for the camera?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me look around. Name. Let's see. Look at that name. Well, we have Schreier, Sergeant. Lieutenant Schreier, Thomas, Hansen, May, and Michaels. And we had another one, I can't remember his name.
So there were 6 of you or 7?
6 of the first.
6, okay. Were some of them killed on Iwo Jima?
Oh yes. We lost 3 men on Iwo Jima.
Of the flag raising?
Yeah, we lost Thomas, Hansen, and the Indian there.
Chuck, is it in your mind, does it seem like 60, 61 years ago, or does it seem like yesterday?
Seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
Of course, I talk about it all the time, everything else, it's in your mind all the time.
So there's not a day that goes by you don't think about Iwo Jima?
Something about it there.
Well, what does Iwo Jima mean to you today, 60 years later?
Well, I feel bad that they give it back to the Japanese, real bad. They made a beautiful monument, and we get a chance to go back there. That's all. Some of our troops, I just train on there now, something. But I didn't think much of that situation.
Did you lose friends on Iwo Jima, killed or wounded?
Oh yes.
How did you feel at the time? Did it bother you, or is it maybe later that you thought about it?
It's later when I knew about it. That's the way it was.
Can you describe to me, and if you can go into detail, describe to me your job as a flamethrower and the purpose of the flamethrowers and getting the Japanese out of the caves. Just talk it to me. Tell me what you do when you take out a cave.
Well, your job is you work with riflemen, and after something, all of a sudden you see an opening in that cave or anything like that, then we're wanted bad, because we got to get up there and burn them out. And it's a tricky job. People say, oh, it's crazy to carry it, but I don't think so. I liked it.
So walk me through it. What are you doing after the riflemen are doing their thing, and then you come in? So explain that to me.
Well, the flamethrower first is we can. You ever seen one or you used one? Mm-mm. Well, see, they're 72 pounds, and you're carrying 5 gallons of napalm, jelly gasoline, and this weapon, if you take the fuel release and release it all at once, it only lasts you 6 seconds. But the way we use them, and just a small burst is all it takes. I know before we went overseas, I didn't like the system at all. I had electricity, and battery operated. Mm-hmm. Well, if it started raining, you're done for. Just before we went over, by a man, 3 or 4 days, here come a bunch of new ones in, HM1A1 they called it, and it had a thing in the nozzle. You look at the nozzle of the flamethrower, you see a round nozzle. That's with a cartridge in there. And when you pull the trigger, one trigger back here, ignite a flame going out, which would last for about 15 seconds before I go out. And I think there was 5 or 6 in that like a 6-shooter. Well, that was a godsend. And otherwise, you wouldn't have a chance hardly.
How have you felt through history, knowing that you were one of the original flag raisers? I mean, how did you feel when they came out with the stamp and they started making such a big deal out of the second flag raising?
I felt bad about it. I talked a lot about it, and when the monument was dedicated in '54. I was invited to go, and I went down there, and E. Michaels was there, Shire was there, and Lowry was there, but they put us way back. Never said a word of anything, no, nothing. And I thought, oh my God. And all of a sudden, it was after that, after 50, toward the end of the year, I was invited back again, and in that time, both Michaels and Shire had died, and I was alone, but still nobody said a word, not a word. And then, the same year, in March, I was invited to go back to Iwo Jima. My wife and I both. Well, we made the trip. I mean, it's kind of awful creepy, I tell you. When flew over that mountain when we came in there, boy, you got the chill go through me. You remember? But we landed. We were the first to land, so we had the first chance to go up the mountain. And they told us there's no flag raising up there. But before I left Minneapolis, I talked to the rotunda out the Capitol, and they gave me a big flag to fly at Iwo Jima. I said I would, and I did. But nobody did anything about it. Even grandchildren gave me some tags. We flew them just to. But they didn't like us. We knew that. And they were wasting our time. I know we had to go leave the mountain right there then, because they're holding some kind of ceremony down below, which we did. We sat there for most likely it was on 2 hours listening to it. Couldn't understand it anyway. They'd turn one to the other, you know.
Hey, Chuck, that pole doesn't look that heavy. Why did it take so many of you to hoist that pole?
Oh, that's heavy.
Tell me how heavy.
And a wind.
Okay.
Yeah. And a pole about this big. That's solid, you know, maybe about this thick. Yeah. And you put a flag on the end of that and I'd put that up in the air. Or
What was the base? Did you put it in the ground? How'd you...
we just kicked. I kicked them. I'll even show you pictures where I was kicking dirt to get a spot in the ground to stick it. And we tied it down with a rope.
How long was that first flag up?
4 hours.
Were you up there when they put up the second one?
No, I'll get into that right now. We had the mountain secured by 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's when that time I got a hold of my other flamethrower, and thought we better get down and reload. They were empty. And in case something happened at night, they pulled a sneak attack on us, we'd be ready for them. So we left the mountain. At the same time, Colonel Johnson got a little worried about that flag, that somebody was going to steal it for something to keep, very valuable. It was the first American flag to fly over the Japanese home territory in World War II. And so he ordered another to replace with another one. Well, that's where the fun come in, because I wasn't there. I didn't know anything about it, but I had to find it out later on in a year. When I went up the mountain, that's when Rosenthal got in the act. I don't know why they had him in there, and two other recorders, McDonald, McDonald, I can't think of any. Well, two anyway. Mm-hmm. And I made three of them. And according to the way they're talking about it, rather Rosenthal, he says he just got up there, he says, and he just had a chance to turn around quick and see the flag going up. I don't know how he could do that. I've got a picture of him standing by our flag, waving his hands. And you know, things like that, you know, that made me mad, all it could be. But I know what he got off that island with that flag, bad picture awful quick. Because he went down to El Dorado, had at that flagship. He had his film flown to Guam. Mm-hmm. They developed it, saw the picture back to the States. Nobody knew another flag was raised 4 hours ahead of it. And when I was wounded on, we left the mountain on the last day of February, and we went up to north of the island. Well, on March 1st, about noon, I was wounded and evacuated from the island, and I was sent back to Saipan. I was there in Saipan maybe about a week and a half, and somebody popped up one day and said, "You want to see a picture of the flag raising?" I said, "Sure." He showed it to me. Look out here, I was looking at Rosenthal's picture. And I thought, oh, something went wrong here. And so I couldn't figure out what happened. I didn't until they switched me to Pearl Harbor. And I was there maybe a week and a half too. Anyway, here come Yank Magazine out of the States, with a flag rating with two flags, both first and second. Well, then I knew what happened. I was a little mad, awful mad too. But they finally switched me on to Frisco, and near the Great Lakes Hospital, where they healed me up, and then they sent me to Charleston, South Carolina, where I was guarding the naval brig, best duty I had in the Marine Corps.
Tell me about getting wounded. Describe what happened, and then tell me about John Bradley coming over and helping you and what he did.
Well, I was after a mortar position up at that time, and I was coming pretty fast, and I was bent over this way. And all of a sudden, boom, a shell come. I got that. I went right here's where it went in, right here. And just shattered the arm all up. Knocked me down. And I went down, maybe 4 or 5 minutes laying there, and here come John Bradley. He immediately fixed this, put a brace on her to keep it straight, and treated it with medicine where he had. And he put a bandage, of course, and then wrapped her good, and then put me in so it's like this. And back to the ship I went.
Did you guys talk? Did you know that he had raised that second flag or anything at that time?
No, I knew nothing about it. He didn't say anything. But it had been done, though.
Yeah.
It was done, sir. So I left the mountain.
Well, you know, we're talking about a lot here, and I realize it took days to secure the base of the Suribachi, and then the ascent up was pretty quick. But were there a lot of Marine casualties around these days? I mean, were they evacuating them, or were you helping them, or what was going on?
Helping who?
The wounded.
Oh, yeah, there was moon. There you could see them being carried out all over. I mean, with the casualties we had there, you know, it was something really terrible. I know Hanson, he got shot just, it couldn't have been an hour before me, and we were standing in a bunch together. And he come right through here.
Killed them.
Mm-hmm. And Thomas, he got it a couple, 3 days later, I guess. He got a shot through the head.
So those two were killed on Iwo from the first flag raising. Was there another one that was killed, or just those two?
Just 3 killed.
Yeah. Well, what day were you wounded?
March 1st.
Okay, so you left the island after, what, 11 days, 10 days?
Mm-hmm.
So up until that point, were you effective getting the Japanese out of the caves?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Is there?
Oh, yes.
Can you describe? I mean, do the riflemen go before? Do they throw grenades in there and fire? What happens?
They do that a lot, but of course, firing you can't get into them. Grenades. Well, I mean, I don't think so either. But it'll keep them in there, and give you a chance to get up there.
And then you shoot out a jelly substance. Is that what comes out?
Mm-hmm.
Does that hit the Japanese, or what does it do?
Yeah, well, it hits it and then sucks the air out of there too. Anything like that. I mean, it kill one way or the other, and it's going to get them.
Well, you were trained to do this type of work.
Yeah.
So when you're doing it, you're not thinking people are dying, or you're just doing your job.
I thought it was a beautiful weapon.
Did you guys realize that the Japanese were dug into the island when you landed?
Nobody knew it. Our information was very poor on that island. That's why for 72 days they held out for continuous bombing and stuff. And here we come in here, they're waiting for us. So that's quite a deal.
So were the tanks involved with shooting flames too, or?
Oh yes.
Did you see some of that happen? What happens when a tank hits one of them caves?
Oh, they are something else. They get them around the base of the mountain and stuff like that, where the big caves are and stuff. But when you get around the hill, up a hill, steep hill, something, they can't get to them. Then we get after them. But they do a wonderful job.
Tell me about the sound. Is there a clicking sound before you fire a flamethrower? Or
well, you got a fuel release back here, and then you got your other little switch up here for the flame. You fire that flame on first, and then you pull the trigger on this quick, give it a blast.
They just go.
Yeah, the little flame will just shoot out of there. There's about 1,200 pounds pressure on that thing.
Would the Japanese scream when they got hit, or could you tell they were hit?
They were hollering. I can tell on this one on 72 that we'd got there on the top of the mountain. I went in that cave and I saw the way they looked. They were pretty well burnt up. I mean, not scorched or something, but you could see where they fried some as well. You could put the phrase right.
I heard there were maybe incidents where the flamethrower did something and it blew up, and did anything like they see anything like that?
Well, if they're hit, I suppose it would be. But I never saw one get hit, and mine never got hit. I come close to it, I know that. But
Did you encounter Father Bradley on that island at all? Do you remember him?
no.
Okay. How about on the ship before?
I mean,
Did you see him on the island, Father Bradley?
John Bradley?
No, the priest, the Catholic priest.
Oh, no, I never saw him.
Okay. Okay. He was the 5th Marine Division chaplain, Catholic chaplain. Yeah.
Well, I think I stayed one place long enough to.
Yeah. So were you had to have been scared sometime. I mean, what was the hardest part of that island for you? I mean, what was the most difficult thing that you encountered on Iwo Jima?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I would be scared. I mean, you could be a little tense, but you start getting scared, and then you go to pieces. I couldn't see that.
All those young men on that island. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you by chance walk through any of the cemeteries they had? Oh, you were gone.
I seen part of the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
It was buried on the south side and toward the mountainside. In there, it was buried in there. I've got a good picture of it and everything. I show it in my slides. It's big like that.
So what else can you tell me maybe about the flag raising? I mean, was it routine? Was it, you said you were a proud moment for you.
Yeah.
What does the American flag mean to you today?
Well, it means liberty, freedom. When that flag is there, why, I'm a great believer in the flag.
Tell me about the price for freedom.
Well, price of freedom is like when like Iwo Jima, to see all these people dead right around you. That's the price.
Did that bother you at all, Chuck, or later?
Oh, it bothers me to see them dead. When I see it just happen, look and see if they are dead. Because if they weren't, I'd get somebody up there. But
did that bother you at all after the war, or did you just forget about it all?
it don't bother me at all. I talk about it too much to have it done.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you do for history's sake. I think it's very good that you talk about it. Some of the guys don't want to talk about it, but
a lot of them talk and they tell a bunch of tales too.
yeah.
And we run into that. You ought to be surprised how many people, guys have come and said they helped raise the flag. Ask Severance sometime about that. And the worst one I've seen yet was, well, you ever hear of Chick Robinson?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a very good friend of mine. He died here not too long ago. Oh, he was a good friend of mine. Anyway, he sent me a letter from, he lived in Washington, state of Washington. And he told me about this guy they honored out there. They said he was a P-38 pilot. And they said he was run out of gas over Iwo Jima, and he landed. And he happened to land right where we were going up the mountain, right near the mountain. He got out and went with us and helped raise the flag, then got back, and they got a gas firing, and he went again. Oh God, that was the best there was yet of tales to be told. No P-38s there anyway in the first place. You couldn't land in the first place.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And it's quite a guy. A lot of tales have been told about that. And I used to get them and I'd send them to Severance, let him settle them.
Tell me about the Marine Corps and the pride of the Marines.
Oh, I'm kind of proud of the Marine Corps. I remember the reason I went in the war was, before the war I was a truck driver, and I was hauling cars from Detroit, Michigan to Spokane, Washington. And that was a beautiful job. I was getting $240 a month, which was then good money. And as soon as that war was declared, I only made 2 trips after that. Here I am in Spokane with no job. So I said, I'll join the Marine Corps.
Is it true, once a Marine, always a Marine?
I guess so.
Yeah. Well, what do you want people to remember about you when you're gone someday?
Well, that I was a good Marine, and I was a flag raiser, and I did my best.
Tell me what it means to you to be a flag raiser at Iwo Jima, the only one alive. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's quite a prize, honor to be that way. But I always think about it. It took more than me to get that flag out there, and I wasn't the only one. I mean, that's the way I say. There's others that helped.
Now, you said that morning a Schreier was told to take a flag or given a flag.
Yeah.
And if you get to the top, put it up.
Yeah.
Where did he get the flag from? It come up one of the ships?
It came from a Wells, one of our officers. He brought it from Hawaii on the ship, and he had in his suitcase, or briefcase, what you want to call it. He got the flag from him.
Why did he have a flag?
I don't know, must have brought it along for that purpose. I don't know. Hooly Wells, whatever his name was.
Greeley.
Greeley Wells. I think he's the one that sounds familiar.
Yeah, he said he carried it in, or
Uh-huh.
what was it? So, and then that morning you guys just went up the mountain.
That's right.
And then once at the top, did Schreier say, "Hey, I need a couple guys to help me," or what? How did that happen?
Well, no, we just all worked together. Everything we had men were posting themselves, and we were working on the flag, and that's where it went.
Did you tie the flag on, or did somebody else do that?
We both helped tie it on. I had to get the regular pictures out to show that.
What did you use to tie it with?
We had a regular rope. Stayed up there good. We were up there 4 hours before it come down.
It was real windy.
Pretty windy, yeah.
Could you see the whole island pretty good from up on?
Oh, you could get a beautiful view from up there. Like I always say, that we took their eyes away from them when we took that mountain. We found that one scope up there. I got into one cave on the side of the mountain there. I went in and looked around, and I saw this suitcase, big case over there, about like it's here. So I went over and got curious about it. So we got a hold of it, drug it out, and carried it up the top of the mountain. And when I got it open, there was a big field glass in there. Field glasses, they're two big binoculars. They're about this long, and adjustments for artillery and everything on them, And we stand for it and everything. We set it up and looked over the island. Oh, what a view you couldn't get. You could see everybody down there. I'd like to have got that home with me, but it was too big.
Why did we need Iwo Jima?
Well, the reason there was interfering with for Japan. It was 700 miles from Japan, 700 miles from Saipan. Them planes came right over that, practically. Well, there it says Iwo Jima with radar, radio, and fighters. And then they get attacked our planes that got wounded up, and raised Cain with them. And that's why they figured they had to get out of there.
The B-29s would land there.
Oh, they landed afterwards.
Well, Chuck, what does freedom mean to you today? As a World War II veteran and as an American citizen, what does freedom mean to you?
Well, freedom means to me that I can live in my own way and feel free.
Do you think about your friends that didn't make it back, or do you think about it?
Oh, yes.
Who do you think the real heroes are of Iwo Jima?
I think everybody is. That island was something else. Like my wife says, how did they ever take that island, get off that island alive?
Well, why did you come back?
Invitation. And I was in my position as a flag raiser, they wanted me back. I could have went back this year too, I wouldn't do it. It won't fly anymore. And I'd not pay a cent. I think trip cost somebody about $10,000, unless how they get unless the History Channel or History Deal or they usually sometimes when you get so many on a plane, then you get for so many free seats or something too. Could have been that way too, but that's a lot of money to put out. But it was a beautiful trip.
Tell me a little bit more about the island. Is volcanic ash?
It's called volcanic ash.
Did it smell? Was it
Yes.
hot? Tell me about the island.
Well, it was stink all the time. It's regular stink. They used to manufacture or mines golfer there, and now there were a lot of caves in there already from that. But which helped them a lot. But and there's places on an island I think you can cook water, I guess, and everything, or something like that, if you want to do. And on the volcano itself, you get down in there toward the net, and you really smell the sulfur.
Was it hard to walk on?
Very hard, especially if it's a slope or something like that. You just sink into it, like glass, fine up grinds of you.
When you landed that morning, was there a ramp that went down and you guys ran out or what?
No. We did
You drove a tank under the beach?
He drove the tank. They were supposed to drive the tank up on the wall, up on the top, turn right, and you get off the opposite side on a clear beach. This guy, he drove up, stopped. I got off and I went into a water bottle here. He didn't get far enough. Got a good bath. That was my introduction to that place.
Then what, you swim to shore or what happened?
Oh, no, it wasn't that far out. You just walk in, just a little ways. It was maybe 10 feet.
Was there any firing at the boats coming in?
Oh, yes.
Tell me what you saw and heard.
Well, I saw, I think I one or two hit with the mortars and come awful close. And you can see an arc or something when they hit like that. You see a spark. Oh yeah, there was a lot of that when they're coming in.
Was that nerve-wracking at all?
Oh yes, but you just keep going.
Yeah. And you carried just the flamethrower. You didn't have another weapon?
Pistol. But I always carried grenades too. Yeah. I like grenades. A lot of times you can use one of them quicker than a pistol.
So did you tell me maybe what was the most difficult part of that island for you, or did you tell me? I can't remember what you said. What was the hardest part for you on that island?
Well, I think when we got to the north end there, around that hill 362, that's when it seems rough.
Tell me about Hill 362.
Well, I can't say too much about it because I got on there about noon and they not carried off, but got off there about 1:30 or something like that.
Was there an objective to take that hill or what?
Well, we had to get everything. You go forward, We knew something was there, and I guess it got tougher as they got further along. You get to get into the jagged stuff, and then but these are just slopey hills, But they had mortar positions in them and everything, and.
Is it? I'm going to say the movies, but is it like sometimes in the movies, war? I mean, combat. You guys charge, or were you just sitting at the beach and they were shooting at you, or was there times you got up and you charged them, or what? I mean,
I don't think we got up and doing any charging. You get up and sneak around a little bit, about the way I look at it, and see what you can see.
what are your fondest memories about Iwo Jima? I mean, is there something that stands out than others?
Well, raising that flag was. I mean, you couldn't help it be when I just it chills all over. I think the way I felt when that flag went up and all those troops down below started cheering and the ship's whistles going off, and that was something. I'll never forget it.
I wonder what happened when the second flag went up, if anybody cheered. Probably not.
They say not, because hardly anybody knew it. Nobody knew it. Nobody knew it was going to happen. It's kind of done on a sneaky side, the way I look at it.
It was a larger flag, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where is the first flag today?
It's in the museum, Washington. I guess that museum's down now. It's moved down somewhere. Oh, heck. Not too far from there. Another day, they changed the museum.
Well, what do you think of the Iwo Jima Memorial in Washington, D.C., showing the second flag raising? Is that something you go see or not?
I not on my own accord, no. I've been there twice, with a bunch. One time with E Company, and the other time, I think I was when they went for the birthday of the thing, I guess, when I went up there and they took us over there.
Tell me, Chuck, from a historical standpoint, why the first flag raising was more important or significant than the second?
Well, it was first. That's the thing, and I'm getting that now. We're the ones that went up there and took the mountain, and everything, did all that, cleared the way, and here these guys with 4 men and with a photographer come walking up there and change our flag, and then come to tell the people that they fought their way up. That's been said already, and I guess Congress wanted to give them a Medal of Honor once, I heard, which was something be good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a kind of hard to think a lot of things.
What was it? What company raised the flag?
E Company, both flags.
And the commander of E Company?
Severance.
Dave Severance. Okay, was there a battalion or just a company? It's just known as the 28th Regiment, Easy Company.
No, 20 E Company, 28th Regiment.
Did you know anybody from Fox Company?
Not too much, no. I know. I knew the captain, the commander. 'Cause he came up on the mountain. I can't think of his name anymore.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, I think you've covered it, but I just want to make sure I've come a long ways. I want to make sure I've asked you all the questions I wanted to ask you, but I know you've done a lot of interviews, Chuck, and I really do appreciate your time today, more than you know. And I just, do you still speak in schools now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I go like, the Lions Clubs here, or something like that, or some other organization, something like that. But mainly it's with schools.
Do you show your slides in schools?
Oh yeah. Dakota Hill School. Oh, you don't know that, do you? Right?
No,
It's out west there, and I was there every year. Used to go there every year, and Edina schools I went every year. Hopkins I went.
You're 85 years old now, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there'll be a reunion of Iwo Jima vets in heaven?
Should be.
Yeah. You ever think about stuff like that?
I got quite a deal with that. With the guy in charge of Fort Snelling. He's in charge. And they put up a monument for the 100-year-old veterans out there and here not too long ago. And my wife her dad was in it, so we went out there. And I got acquainted with that man from the thing, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, there going to be room for me?" Oh, he says, "Yes." He said, "Let's start at something. Every time I see him, we got room for you." Everything going on and on. And finally here, 2 years ago, I missed last year. I wasn't feeling at the par. I was there, and my wife was sitting right in the middle of the front, and he was talking, and he made the remark. He said, "Yeah," he says, "we have one man here." He says, "It's often wondering about if it'd be time for him to be buried. He will." And he says, "We got a whole row down there of Marines," he says, But I don't think he wanted to go yet. He's sitting there over there by my wife. You should have heard the people. I got a grandstand, standing grandstand. What do you want to call it? Stand. Oh, it was funny. And my wife, when they got done, everybody kept crowding around me over there. Everybody wanted autographs and all this and that. My wife sneaked over where the governor was and got a picture with him.
Tell me about that picture with Bob Hope, how that came about.
We held a deal for Bob Hope at a building out here south of where the mall is now. That's gone now. But one night, and Bob Hope come, and he gave quite a talk up there, and then I went up on the stage to deal with the guy that sponsored this, and I gave him a picture of the first flag raising and all that, and then when the thing was over with, we got a chance to get down in the dressing rooms down there, and my wife couldn't get on the stage, she wasn't in on the thing, but she came around the side over there later, and I went and got her down there. Close, and she said, I want a picture of Bob Hope. I said, I'll go see if I get it. I went over and I said, Bob, my wife, I got a picture of you. Okay. So he comes over there with me, and I introduced my wife, and he puts his arms around her. Hello, doll. I guess he was ready to faint. And he says, get one of them in the camera. He said, you get in that picture, we'll all get in the picture. And that's what he did.
Boy.
And he was something else.
I bet.
When he died, there were three television units here the next day, just because I'd talked to him and been with him.
Is that right?
Oh, that was something else too. But he was a good one.
So how many times have you gone back to Iwo Jima since?
Just the one.
In 1995?
95.
And you said when you flew over the island, it gave you chills.
Oh, it did. Mm-hmm. I could have went back this year too.
Now, who would you go back with? Who invited you? Military history tours?
It came from the History Channel or something out there in Washington there. But then I said, White, I think was in charge there. I said, no, I said, a tool for this stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice offer that they did, though. Very nice.
Someday, when we went to New York, funny thing is, the one we went to New York, it's up north of New York, Current, New York, and they had a big monument there, just like the other ones.
A lot of men were killed on that island.
Oh yeah.
Why do you think your life was spared?
I don't know, it's lucky, I guess. All I can see. I took every chance that anybody else ever took. Maybe worse with the flamethrower.
Did it ever bother you at night when you slept? Did you ever dream about it or think about it? Or?
No.
Yeah. Good.
Not a bit.
Are you proud that you were there at Iwo Jima?
I am. Yeah, I had my sermon time in the Marine Corps with good people because the Raiders were a wonderful bunch.
Well, I'd like to do one more thing before I stop. I'll tell you when, though. Just give me a second here. Okay, right into the camera, Chuck. Go ahead and give me a salute. Okay. Thank you, sir.